There's a festive feast of racing coming up in Hong Kong, and it starts at Sha Tin on Saturday. Welcome to Racing to Win to preview the first of plenty of races between now and New Year's Day in Hong Kong. Joined in the studio by Paul Lally and Nick Child. And Nick, for the first meeting of this busy period, what can we look forward to?
Yeah, we look forward to plenty, Mark, that's for sure. Plenty of newcomers, actually. It could be the key to some of those races. Some of them look rather interesting, those that have raced and those that haven't. But horses with Hong Kong form, there are some good ones on show.
There is indeed. Paul Lally here as well. Is there plenty of jackpot money in the sack?
There is. Well, it's the last race meeting before Christmas, so there's plenty of presents coming out of the sack for you. 15.3 million for the triple trio, so that should get well over the 20-odd million mark. And also the first double trio, 900,000 in that. And if that's not enough, in the lucky last race, race 10, the get-out stakes, there's $1 million going into the quartet first four merge pool. So three really good presents for you there, Mark.
Absolutely, that's what we like to hear, and 10 winners to find on the preview. We're going to have a very special guest also coming up soon with a new trainer announced in Hong Kong on Thursday. But there's also some further news from the licensing committee. That new trainer is to grant the licence to Mr David Eustace for next season, approve the extension of the trainer's licence for Manfred Mann beyond the conclusion of the current season, update the trainer's retirement age from 65 to 66 immediately, and they're going to revise the criteria for trainers to be eligible to train until they are 70. And very pleased to say the newest trainer in town joins us live from his car right now. David Eustace, welcome to Racing to Win, and congratulations on the new appointment.
Thank you very much. Yeah, look, obviously very grateful for the opportunity from the Jockey Club, and yeah, busy last couple of days, and had to keep it under wraps for a little while. But yeah, it's obviously very exciting to get the opportunity now, and can't wait to get going.
Well, it's not your first time in Hong Kong. It will be as a trainer, but you've also got a family connection to racing in Hong Kong from previous years.
Yeah, that's right. I've been very fortunate. Been able to visit a few times. My uncle trained there, which has been documented, and look, he left 20 years ago. I didn't visit when he was there, but I then was able to take two horses over for the international meeting and stayed on 1 year and spent a bit of time at the track. So, yeah, it's always been a place that I would have loved to train. And obviously, you've got to, you know, jump through plenty of hoops to actually get the opportunity. So it was always going to take a little bit of time, but thankfully, I've got the licence now, and can't wait to get going.
How much thought do you give a move like this, knowing that you've got a huge team with Kieran down there in Australia, to come up here by yourself and really start over again? How long is the process from, yes, I'd like to do it, to, OK, yes, I will do it?
Yeah, look, it wasn't an easy decision. That's absolutely right. It took me a few months to make it, and that's no knock on, obviously, the opportunity up in Hong Kong, but you know, I was in a very fortunate position, managing a big team of horses, staff, and a great group of owners behind us. And you know, thankfully, we had a lot of success over the last 5 years, and that continued to grow. So it's bittersweet for me. Obviously, I'll be sad to leave such a great team of horses. First and foremost, you know, to be able to go to the races on a Saturday with live chances all year round, you can't possibly take that for granted, and I never did. But thought it was the right time to start a new challenge for myself, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm under no illusion going to be it's an extremely competitive environment, a lot of very good trainers, good jockeys, and you know, hopefully I can collect a good bunch of horses for some loyal owners, and yeah, look, I can't wait to start building a team.
How long have you been with Kieran Ma? And you said big team that you both have. Tell us roughly what the horse numbers on the books are, because it's a massive amount, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got about 700 on the books across 2 states. We've got 6 training locations of 50 horses or more, and you know, comes with that a lot of, you know, responsibility, a lot of staff. I've been with Kieran for 7 years, 5.5 years as in partnership, and he had 6 months, out very, very early on when I was working for him as well, which came with a lot of responsibility. So it's a massive team behind us. So it doesn't centre around us completely, obviously, all the time, but still, it's a steep learning curve because we started with 50 in work, and we're now managing 400 in work each day, and as I say, about 700 on the books.
David, it's Paul here. I understand that you're pretty good friends with Andrea at Zany. Has he been helpful? Have you had good conversations with him about life in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I spoke to him a few times and actually stayed with him when I was up here. God, nearly 9 years ago, he rode Farage in the Cup, and I stayed with him then, and then he had a short spell then. So he was stable jockey to Roger Varian when I was assistant there. So we were good mates then, naturally sort of drifted apart a bit once I went down in Australia. So looking forward to catching up with him again in person, and it's great to see him hit the ground running. He's always a very talented jockey, a lot of feel for a horse, and rides light. So I'm sure his start will continue.
David, Nick here, and obviously great news that you are going to join us here in Hong Kong. You're from a family of trainers, David. Obviously your father James trained, your brother Harry now trains in Newmarket as well, and I know Uncle David trained here, but it must be a proud moment for the whole family that you've now gained that licence here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, definitely. Mum and Dad are actually here. We're here when I signed and got the licence, and here yesterday. So, it's been fantastic to share it with them. Obviously, they're not here very often, and spoken regularly with David about Hong Kong and my ambition to come here. So he was always obviously encouraging me to do that, and giving me a lot of advice. And Harry's going really well at home. It's a tough place to train. He's been training for 3 years, had 2 Royal Ascot winners, and has hit the ground running, so to speak. So yeah, for us as a family, of course, it's sort of suggests that we had really no choice but to go into racing, which is not the case. But we just it's all fallen that way.
David, when do you come to Hong Kong next, and when will you relocate personally to the territory?
We're coming up in January. Me and my partner Elizabeth coming for a few days, early Jan, and then we'll move permanently in April. So a couple of months to prepare. I'll go home, and I'm keen to sort of travel and spend a bit of time with some trainers around the world before then starting, in earnest in April.
How do you prepare from starting from scratch? You've gone from this big team, you're now going to start from scratch. You need to build your own team. How are you going to go about doing that?
Well, you've got to use the contacts, thankfully, that I've managed to generate over the last few years, of course. I've got time to make a very specific plan on the type of horses that I'd like to bring to Hong Kong. Obviously, for any trainer who comes over, some will have more than others, but essentially kicking off with not a lot of domestic Hong Kong owners. So that's going to be obviously a real focus over the next few months, and work really hard in sourcing the right horses. I think I'm lucky enough to, having grown up obviously in the UK and doing the majority of my working career in Australia, built up a lot of contacts with people I trust when looking to purchase horses, and I think that's going to be absolutely key. So there's specific plans in place which I'm looking to solidify over the next few months.
You obviously had a bit to do with Capitalist when he was down there. His progeny goes well in Hong Kong. You'd be keen to sort of link up with some of those when you get up here.
Yeah, that's right. Fast horses, very genuine horses, which is what he was. And, they're attributes that you're going to need in Hong Kong, and sound too. So naturally, he's a sire that will be focusing on. He's had a lot of success up there.
And just finally, David, what are you looking forward to the most as the challenge of coming here to Hong Kong?
To be honest, I'm really looking forward to just getting into a completely new jurisdiction and learning, the systems there. And that was something that really excited me coming to Australia when I first moved down here, was that, I really did not know anything regarding, how the system works in Australia. And that's something that I've put a lot of focus on in the last few months, is just getting to know the race book and the pattern of racing and how Happy Valley sort of differs to Sha Tin, and they're something that's going to take a lot of time to learn over the next few months. But I think it's just a step into the unknown, really, and that really excites me.
Well, it's a great time for you, David. We really appreciate your time here on Racing to Win today. We look forward to seeing you in January and permanently from April.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Look forward to it too.
Yeah, big thanks again to David there, Nick. He comes here very well credentialed with a great racing family background.
He does indeed. John, I was actually fortunate to work for his father a few years ago, so I sort of knew David from there. But look, always destined to be trainers. His brother Harry's doing great things, and I'm sure David will do here. I mean, he's a very likeable sort of guy. Obviously, clearly knows what he's doing, and he'll be a great addition. He
will. He's not going to know himself either, Paul. 700 horses in Australia, down to, I think it's 70 or something around that maximum here, and he'll get some time off.
He will, definitely will. No travelling. I think it's one of the big perks for the trainers that come here. You know, everything's on course, just going to Happy Valley and whatnot, and I think he'll fit in really well. He's sort of been here a few times with horses, so he does know how the jurisdiction works.
He's going to join the crop of younger trainers in Pierre Rung and Jamie Richards, doing good things too in their early seasons of training. We're off to break here on Racing to Win. Back with a look at the feature on the weekend after this, and also Paul's world famous last run reminder. Welcome back to Racing to Win as we preview Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. Before we get to race number 7, we've got Paul's last run reminder about to appear on the screen. It's race 2. It's number 4, Gangnam Star, on a very, very good debut, Paul.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Look, he ran really well, didn't he? Down the straight 1,000. He was slow away. He drew well, but you can see him highlighted there on the inside. They just took their time with him, but he ended up right at the back of the field. It wasn't the overly strong race in this. You can see they actually ran 0.68 seconds slower than the standard time. So that just makes the effort even better. He comes out to the middle of the track and he keeps going. He actually comes out to the outside of the field. And once he got out to the outside, he just started to run past his horses really nice. He was picking it up. It was all new to him, this horse. And he was a little bit green there. He was running around, but I just really like the way he finished off really strongly. And Wunderbar was the horse in front that actually won this race, and he managed to get up for third. I thought it was a fantastic debut.
It certainly was. So Gangnam Star, race 2, number 4, out of a rather informed stable, that of Pierre Rung, is the last run reminder, and he's looking to go and win his second race start. There is what we'll see on Saturday, although it might not be as warm as it looks in that photo because it is very cold in Hong Kong at the moment. 8 on the turf, the sea course, and a couple on the all-weather for meeting number 30. We preview race number 7, the Enchai Trophy, a Class 2 over the 2,000 metres, and it goes at 4:05. They look this way. Tourbillon Diamond, all wins have been 1,800 metres. 5G Patch comes out of the Vase last time, as does La City Blanche. Rise Brethren's gone back to Denny Shum. Columbus County raced wide at Happy Valley. Awesome Fluke is on a third start for him. He was on a 7-day backup last time when we saw him. Woodfire Bro comes into Class 2 for the first time, and Ensued is going to be ridden by Curris Teaton with a lightweight for John Size. The speed map here, Nick, has Bourbon Air leading.
It does indeed, yes. I mean, he's a horse who really does like a bit of cut in the ground, so he's probably not going to get his ground in, all things considered, but he does like to go forward. Woodfire Bro might just get sort of flushed out to the wing a little bit, looking great, can show plenty of pace. Tourbillon Diamond as well. He's got the big weight there, Paul, but I imagine he'll sit somewhere closer to the pace, and with a good pace, it will certainly suit a horse like Awesome Fluke, who's probably going to get back.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about the first bend here because they come up to it really quickly over the 2,000 metres. So Woodfire Bro, he's going to have to work a bit. I think he'll try and get outside Bourbon Air or even go on and try and lead himself. It's just whether he can get there before the first bend. That's the query.
Well, the man that is tasked with getting him to the lead, or at least outside the leader, is his jockey, Keith Young. Keith, last start second for Woodfire Bro, and it took a smart one in Cheng Cheng Glory to beat him.
It did. Considering he has been off for so long, and in a shorter distance, he's run really well.
He was given a perfect trip behind the leader, wide a draw this week, but he seems a really tough horse as well.
He is. I think that I'm not so worried about the draw because usually you just let him roll forward and in the 2,000 meters race, and there won't be too much speed. So I think I can get to the front in a comfortable way.
Does he try really hard? Because he seems to give his best every time he goes out there.
He did. He's an honest horse, and also he's very he can be very settled in the race during the run, and he just lets you wait for you to ask him, and then he switch on and go.
Trialled last week. Were you happy with his trial?
Very happy. I think he definitely his fitness has improved from his first run, and the trial proves that too.
And there he is, Keith Young, talking a Woodfire Bro. We move on to the others in this race, Nick, and plenty of them come out of the first replay. Bourbonaire 4th, Looking Great 5th, Rise Brethren 9th, and Tourbillon Diamond. While he hasn't won for Mark Newnham, he's certainly got a new lease of life into him.
Yeah, he has. Look, and you know, he's got to carry the big weight here, which is obviously going to be a little bit of a negative. But I guess one certain positive angle on it is that Alexi Vidal's actually back on board. He's ridden him 18 times previously, so he knows him better than anybody. But look, really good run from him. And as you say, look, there's quite a few coming out of this race that you could give a bit of a chance to. Rise Brethren, he was desperately unlucky this day, obviously. I'd take this run with a pinch of salt. I think he's better than that, Paul.
Yeah, definitely is. And the Tourbillon Diamond came off off a really slow pace as well, so that made the race even better. You can see from the head on, he didn't get much of a go, did he, Rise Brethren? He's just sort of in behind. And to be fair, Bourbonaire didn't really either. He only got out a little bit later. But both those runs were full of merit.
And Bournaire's best form's on a wet track too, which
it is
unlikely going to get.
Yeah, they're not going to get that, you would expect. But look, I think he'll go forward and he'll try and get in lead anyway.
Rise Brethren's had a trial since, Paul. It didn't look overly impressive either.
No, look, he didn't. And he has run well on the all-weather on race day a couple of occasions. He sort of got really well back. He ran on a little bit. He was asked to do a bit here, but he was still well away from the leading horses.
He was, yeah. I was slightly put off by this, in fairness. Beaten 9 1/4 lengths in the end. And look, I know, you know, trials are exactly what they are. They're just trials. But he's always looked like a bit of a lethargic horse, actually. He takes a bit of time to warm up. So maybe don't read too much into the trial.
He's going to be ridden by James McDonald, Nick, and we're going to have a look at James's rides now. And as you'd expect, there is some good ones amongst them. Yeah,
for sure. Starts the day off with Flying Silver there in the first. Super Highway, I thought, was some sort of chance. And Solid Shala, I think he's a horse that has trialled really well recently. So wouldn't be shocked to see him figuring. Well, his rides in the latter part of the card, Paul, look decent too.
Yeah, definitely. I like Cotton Fingers. I think he can win, and Beauty Crescent is a good chance as well.
And here's what James has done since he's been in Hong Kong. 9 wins in the short stint from just 64 rides with a win percentage of 14. So James will be around for a few more meetings yet before he heads back to Australia. Off we go to the Vase now, Paul, and this was run so slowly. Last City Blanche, you'll see he does get a check. He was gone at the time. He's leading on the inside and 5G Patch wider out. They're going to find it easier, but even allowing for the fact it was Group 1, he did fold up very quickly, the leader.
Yeah, he doesn't lead, does he, normally? They tried the experiment because he wasn't a leader in the race, so they put him on the pace. He runs a lot better from the back, I think, so I wouldn't be surprised if they put him back as well. And same with the 5G Patch. I think these two will be running on.
Yeah, look, you know, obviously the Vase, you know, looked like a pretty open sort of race, didn't it? So obviously they took their chance. I think they've both run accordingly, to be fair, on form, and this is certainly a, you know, much calmer waters.
That is the Vase runners. Off we move now, Nick, to Awesome Fluke and Ensued, who's just buried away between horses there. Of course, he won his first 2 races in Hong Kong, but you're going to make a strong case for the horse that runs 4th, Awesome Fluke, who was on that quick back up this day.
He was, yeah. And look, I suppose the reason I like him is that he's going up in trip, and he was winner of the West Australian Derby, so he certainly stays quite strongly. He's got a light weight, and I'm quite taken by the booking of Andrea Atzeni. Look, there might be a possible £1 or 2 over, but if he doesn't put any over, he's only got 115, Paul. He'll think he's loose.
Yeah, no, definitely. He goes in for me as well. I'll give Insured another chance as well. He didn't really get the clearest of runs there, did he?
He did not, and he has won over 2,000 metres previously. It's a race, Paul. We've got some horses coming out of Group 1 races, some with lightweights coming up in class. Who have you settled on?
Well, I'm going to go with Last City Blanche because I think they'll ride him differently in this race. They'll take him back and he can run on strongly. There is a bit of pace here with Woodfire Bro and Bourbonaire in the race. So he's on top, Insured with the lightweight 5G Patch. So a bit from the Group 1s and a couple of the up-and-comers as well. Awesome Fluke. So not much between the 4 of them. I think they're all legitimate chances here, but I settled on Last City Blanche, the 4, the 10, the 2 and the 8.
Yeah, I've gone with the 8 here, Awesome Fluke. I think he's a decent chance here. And as Mark touched upon, he was on a quick backup as well. So over this sort of trip, I think we can see a bold showing from him with a very light weight indeed. So the 8 goes on top and should, I think, can certainly bounce back from that run last time. Far from disgraced. Obviously, the unbeaten run came to an end, but I think he's better than that. And he's another one with a light weight, and the trip will suit. 5G Patch goes in, obviously coming out of the Vars. This will be more to his liking, and he's got a good course and distance record. 2 wins, 2 seconds, a third from 9 over this course and distance. And Woodfire Bro, we heard there from Keith Young a few moments ago. I certainly think he can run a race. He stays well. Course and distance winner, was runner-up to a certain Chang Ching Glory recently, who's been in great form, but he can certainly make his presence felt also. 8, 10, 2, 9 for me here.
We will see Ching Ching Glory at the meeting on the 26th as he looks to continue his run towards the 4-year-old series. All races are previewed on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. You'll also find a full list of last run reminders there as well, outside of the one that was on the show in Gangnam Star. So the website is the place to go. Our place to go right now, Paul, is your best bet.
Yeah, it's a good card actually coming up. So I'm going to go with Fighting Machine. This horse has only had the 2 starts here in Hong Kong. Zach Purdon will be aboard. He's from the Red Hot stable of Pia Ong. And this was his last start. You can see him there in the highlighted in those white colours with the red cap. And he was just sort of got in behind these horses. He got reasonably well back. But once he got into the clear, I just like the way he finished off really strongly there. You could see him motoring into 5th. So a nice run from him. He would have learned a lot coming from that. So with these two runs under his belt, he is the best. And we're going to make the long shot in one of the all-weather races. Can't Go Wong. Best race in Hong Kong for him was last start when he ran a really nice 5th. Doesn't look good there, 11 from 11, but he's really coming to his own now, and I think he's ready to run a race, and he should be a big price. The play of the day, Super Legends with blinkers on for the first time, New Power and the Absolute, 2 newcomers who both went really well on debut. They've both had a run each. So QQP race 3, 1, 8 and 10.
Yeah, my best bet, I'm going to go with the horse in race 7. That is Awesome Fluke. Andrea Retzani. Hopefully it will be a case of thumbs up. 3rd run here in Hong Kong. He stays well, and here's a look at that performance last time out. I think going up to the 2000 will really suit him. He was on a quick backup here as well, so maybe he just felt it a tad. But I think if it turns into a bit of a test of stamina, he'll certainly be seeing it out very strongly, of course. Did win a West Australian Derby over a good bit further than this as well. So he is the best for me on the programme. The long shot, race 10, number 1, Mighty Stride. Good record fresh. He's had 1 or 2 little issues. Hopefully the connections and the team have ironed those out. Ricky Yu trains this horse. He's actually 3 from 7, so he's got a pretty good profile. I think he can get his career back on track with a good run in the last. And the play, race 8. We go the QQP here. Cotton Fingers, I Give, and Joyful Hunter. 2, 3, 6 the numbers for race 8.
Going to stick with the air as the best bet. It's taken Galaxy Patch to beat him twice. No Galaxy Patch this week. Does have 11. He steps up to 1,400 metres. It's a distance that he's won twice over in Australia prior to arriving. So the air for Vincent Ho and Casper Fownes as the best. The long shot, Volcanic Spark, raced wide on debut. He went off at about 10 to 1 in that race and he wasn't beaten too far. Has trolled okay since. Comes back to barrier number 1. And Keegan DeMello has been continuing to rack up the winners, so he goes in as the long shot. We'll go the forecast with the Air and Beauty Crescent. Both likely are going to get back and rattle home late in that race. Race 10 at numbers 6 and 2 for the play of the day. Looking at the diary, things remain a little different as far as race dates go. So we're on Saturday, Trackside Live from 12:30. Tuesday, Boxing Day, Trackside Live from 12:30 for more racing at Sha Tin. And then a Friday night at the Valley. 8 races. The first will be at 10 minutes past 7. Trackside Live from 6:40. And after that, it's a New Year's Day meeting at Sha Tin for Lucky Start. So still plenty coming up. And if that's not enough, there's a simulcast of the Arima Kinnan 2 on Christmas Eve. But that has been the focus, Nick, for the Saturday meeting here at Sha Tin, and lots to follow.
There certainly is, yeah. Lots of racing over the festive period, Paul, to get our teeth stuck into.
Yeah, look, Seasons Wit having a go on the all-weather on Boxing Day as well. It's an interesting move for that horse, going so well at the moment.
Trialled slashingly on it too, did Seasons Wit. That has been Racing to Win. On behalf of all of the team, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.